I'm Aly Boltman, and I'm one of the celebrities taking part in Grey County Reads. I am a self-taught researcher and writer who learned to do these things on my wits as I developed a career in arts management and largely learned how to write grants. I started writing a column for the Sun-Times about antiques in the early years after my son was born, and discovered I had a little bit of a flair for it and a love for it. Started a very long process researching the life of Margaret Matthews in an effort to save a historical home from getting torn down, which has led to the development of a historical fiction book, which I hope to publish someday before I die. I wrote some regular columns for Mosaic magazine, The Acorn, published a little bit with the Ontario Museum Association, and now I've been asked to do this, which is a wonderful opportunity to highlight a book by one of my favorite authors, Thomas King, and the book is The Back of the Turtle. A quick summary of The Back of the Turtle: there is a brilliant scientist, an Indigenous scientist, named Gabriel Quinn, who has disappeared. Gabriel Quinn is the scientist who works for Dominion, who went into the field of science thinking he could save the world, and instead, of course, he's created things that have been used against the world to poison watersheds and oceans, all in the name of corporate greed, to try to more easily be able to lay pipelines across pristine land. They would use some of the herbicides and things that he created to try to help with things like famine that instead have destroyed the world. And Dr. Quinn, when learning that one of the experiments that he has created has actually been the cause of the ruin of the reservation where his mother and his sister lived, has abandoned his post and gone back to the land of his mother and his sister. It wasn't anywhere he had actually lived as a young person, because he had gone away with his father, but he goes back and meets a woman named Mara and a hilarious Scot named Nicholas Crisp, who's one of my favorite characters in the book, and he actually goes back with the intention of killing himself, and instead, while he is clinging to what's called the apostles, these basalt columns in the ocean, waiting for the tide to carry him away, he ends up saving the lives of these people, or these creatures, depending on who you think they are, and finds a renewed purpose in life through that experience. His relationship with Soldier the dog, Nicholas Crisp, and Mara, this very sharp, very smart woman, an artist who has also gone back to the reservation too late to save her family as well. And the bond is formed between them, and they both find a bit of a renewed purpose in life. But all of this is also told through the lens of Dorian Asher, who is an incredibly greedy, probably psychopathic CEO of a very, very wealthy corporation that is intent on running pipelines to make more money. And it's these two worlds colliding that makes this book so interesting. I think the reason you should vote for this book is because this is this book's time. Without stating the obvious, our political situation in the world right now, with fake news and environmental degradation all around us, and having to work harder to find the truth in the world, this book sums up all of those theories. This book so pointedly talks about how we are what's going to be the cause of our probable future, or the end of the earth as we know it on this planet. This book speaks from the voice of a brilliant, seasoned author who is one of the best Indigenous authors, one of the best authors that we have in our country. And it's time for our Indigenous people to be heard, for these themes to take precedence, and to hear all of that intelligence, all of that wisdom, all of that, the years of history through the lens of this author who does it with such an incredible and sometimes sick sense of humor. I don't think you'll have a difficult time reading this book at all. It's written in these tiny little tantalizing bite-sized chapters that some people would look at a book of this size and be a little bit intimidated, but they won't find reading this book a difficult experience at all. I can't encourage you enough to pick up The Back of the Turtle, learn a little bit about Indigenous history, learn a little bit about yourself, and take a more critical look at the world that we're living in.